Hey, so a quick little message before we really get into the video. I bit off more than I could chew with the editing, not necessarily because I couldn't do it, but more because my laptop couldn't handle it. I don't have a PC, and I had to, like I said earlier, switch programs, and unfortunately the program that I'm using now that's free and doesn't have everything left behind a paywall is very not laptop friendly. So I had to scale back, unfortunately, on a lot of the editing details, and I worry that it's going to be a lot more out of sync than it seems right now. So I do apologize if it's out of sync. I do apologize for any editing errors. I do apologize if anything looks really weird and wonky. I have learned from this, and until I can get something that isn't going to lag consistently when I edit, I'm gonna have to scale back my editing ideas, unfortunately, which sucks because I had so much more I wanted to do this video. But between Art Fight, a convention, and the fair coming around, I have had so much to do, so little time, work and school. I've been a very, very busy person. I wanted to get this out like a month ago, but I also procrastinated maybe just a little bit. However, it's here, it's done. Again, any future videos will not be up to the caliber as I usually want to put out. They'll actually be a lot more scaled back, but yeah, let's just get on with it.
Novi here with another speed paint. So, Spyro the Dragon. This video isn't about him. This video is about two characters who debuted in Spyro A Hero's Tale and Spyro A New Beginning respectively. Ember and Cynder. Full disclosure, A New Beginning is one of my favorite video games of all time. It's not the greatest game I've ever played, and it absolutely has its issues, but it does hold a very special place in my heart, and while Eternal Night is and I have specific issues with Dawn of the Dragon, I still enjoy playing them. I do have a copy of Reignited, and I just love all of the different directions they took with their designs. I can easily say there isn't a dragon design in this game that I don't love. So, like plenty of artists when the game first came out, I redesigned Ember and Cynder. Let's get on with the speed paint. Also, actually, I had this drawn using an old canvas format in a different outlining pen. Basically did the drawing, outlined it with the new pen, blah, 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 all that. To start, let's start with Cynder. I kept the colors she has in A New Beginning, and I actually noticed that in a lot of her official art and renders and models, she is more dark blue and pink. In the original in the game, she's absolutely black and red, and I really wish they had kept that. I know there were a lot of issues with Dawn of the Dragon, so I'm not even going to mention that. But it's absolutely my favorite color combination, and it fits her perfectly. Hi, I'm actually just going to interrupt the video right here just to make a very, very, very quick statement on what I just said. So, I was replaying and rewatching A New Beginning. She's more black and pink, but in the Eternal Night, she's more black and red, and I won't even talk about the nightmare that is Dawn of the Dragon. So my guess is I saw the black and red in either a render somewhere as a kid, and I might have thought it was official art. I prefer the black and red. I find it gives her a little bit more fierce look, but I don't hate the black and pink. I don't even hate like the kind of grayish bluish tinge she sometimes get in her official art. It's a nice color, but I don't like it as purple pink thing. I think that's pretty much Spyro is the purple dragon. She was very much black and pink in the first one in the cutscenes and all that, but so that's me just interrupting this just to correct that there. So I changed her wing shape from the original design I had. I gave it the more standard one that we see in the game itself, as opposed to being completely attached. I decided to swap out her spiky bits, except for the horn and of course her tail, for fur. I tried it and I found out that I really liked the way it looked. I wasn't loving the way the overall spikes were looking, but I'm happy I changed it. You will notice that she doesn't have her corruption markings like she does in the original games. I kind of went back and forth on how I wanted her backstory in this world to be. In this world, she isn't taken as an egg and corrupted by Malefor. She actually has a fairly happy childhood. It's just her and a group of dragons, plus Ember and Flame, as her parents fled in the opposite direction of the other dragons did. It's essentially about 25 to 30 adults and just 3 kids. You will notice that this version of Cynder has a marking on her face that the adult version of Cynder does not have. That is because when I was drawing adult Cynder, I glossed over it. I didn't realize it was there, so I didn't draw it. I really did not want to have to redraw over and re-render another 2 images. I'm sorry. This video took longer than what I wanted anyway, and I was still burnt out from the Daybreaker, so this is older art. You'll see that I end up tracing again in the second piece. Adult Cynder does wear gold jewelry. This was something I wanted to do to distinguish her from corrupted Cynder. I also ended up changing her arm position just to give it a bit more whoosh. I ended up making her, I'm gonna call it a mane, her mane flare out a lot more, and she is long. She is lanky, and her tail is actually used almost as a third limb. She also sometimes uses it in battle when she has to pin down an opponent or just give him a good old thwack. Cynder gets her black scales and her overall body shape from her Beastmaker mother, Bastien, along with her tail blade. She gets her fur, her red scales, and her stripe markings from her Magic Crafter mother, Estrella. Her personality, as I would imagine her in Reignited as an adult, she is a lot more confident, but still a bit on the calmer side, leaning more into her Magic Crafter heritage to start working on building portals to maybe even further out lands. Her fire is black, much like in the first game, and while it may not burn as hot as some of the other dragons, it leaves a unique burn that doesn't easily heal. I kept the fire black because I thought it was cool AF in the first game. Sorry, it was, and I was really sad we didn't get it again, but whatever. Ember herself went over a pretty big design change from canon and from my original redesign, but not at the same time. I got rid of her purples from her original design, and I ended up replacing them with a more orange, and I don't even know what kind of to call that color. It's like a purplish pink. She is 100% Peacekeeper. Her wings were something I knew I was always going to want to keep from the original design. I kept her heart-shaped tail piece, and I changed her horns. I gave them a little bit of a twist and a curl because I felt it fit her more. And I took her swirly markings that are across her body, and I would also like to add for the record that when I was designing designing Ember's adult form, I kind of forgot which way her front leg patterns went, and I ended up doing what I thought looked nice, which didn't match her younger form. So while you don't see that here, I actually do fix the old piece and make the patterns match her adult one, because I didn't really like the way they were looking on her adult form. They felt, you know how they kind of go in, but yeah, that's another thing there. I ended up changing her scale plates on her chest to be a bit more heart-shaped to kind of carry the heart motif over on more. And despite her more severe-looking features, she's actually quite a sweetheart. She doesn't take shit. She will fight you, but she very much enjoys a good romance novel, curling up in front of the fire or beside her best friends or families. She may be a bit of a, I don't know what the exact word for that is, a romantic idealist or something. She was actually the easier of the two to redesign because I had so much about Cynder that I loved, but Ember I had a lot more that I didn't quite care for that I wanted to change. I did end up getting rid of her heart necklace as in her younger form, but I did keep her blue eyes. I did really like that. Now on to adult Ember. I wanted to keep her kind of broad-shouldered nature. I don't think I quite translated that well. I still think she looks a little too slim for what I wanted to portray. I wanted her to look like really bulky, like some of the other Peacekeepers that we see in the game in Reignited, but I didn't quite get there. Her golden jewelry is actually very similar to Cynder's. It's made from the same specific gold material that was enchanted to never tarnish, never get scratched. She has a lot more scars as an adult, of course. I wanted her wings to almost look a little bit like a cape. I brought back her heart necklace, too. Her tail, I don't know if cartilage is the right word. It's probably not the right word. It's not like bone, like it's not as dense as bone is made of. I don't think cartilage is the right word, but I'm gonna go with it because it's the only word I can think of. So it is strong enough that she can actually attach blade pieces onto it. She actually breathes a blue fire. This fire is so far the hottest known fire. Also, those are absolutely cinder scales on her necklace piece because they're dating, because I said so, and because that's something that's also become very popular, and I sat there and went, I was like, oh my god, we can do that. We can just do that. I could do that. I haven't drawn any ship art for them yet. I probably will. Maybe. I don't maybe want to really use my fanon designs because I don't want to draw that again, but I do want to draw it again, so I might end up drawing again. Well, that's actually all I have for this. It has been a ride after the Daybreaker one, and I'm riding on the hype of actually starting to want to draw again. Or if you want to check out my Ko-fi, because I do have some new commission options up, and I may or may not be putting dragon ones up there at some point. Possibly, maybe, I don't know yet. But that's all I have for these dragons. I had so much fun drawing dragons again. So much fun. This has been Novi, space out.